This is the English service of Radio Algeria International. It's time for the news.
In today's top stories, the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, has chaired a meeting at the Abdellatif Rahal International Conference Center here in Algiers with the leaders of the political parties represented within the elected national local assemblies. The Minister of Hydraulics, Mr. Taha Darbel, has highlighted during the 10th World Water Forum held in Bali, Indonesia, Algeria's commitment to enhance water resources and preserve the environment and ecosystems. Algeria has called for an international investigation to shed light on the crimes carried out by the occupation in the Gaza Strip. Hello and welcome to Radio Algeria International. I'm Jamal Salmani. The President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, has chaired a meeting at the Abdellatif Rahal International Conference Center here in Algiers with the leaders of the political parties represented within the elected national and local assemblies. The meeting, which was attended by the Prime Minister, Mr. Nadir Al-Arbawi, and the Director of the Cabinet of the Office of the Presidency, Mr. Boualem, was in line with the commitments of the President of the Republic to enshrine the tradition of dialogue and consultation with the political class in order to promote participatory democracy. The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mr. Youssef Sharfa, has met here in Algiers the Mauritanian Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Mema Beybata Hamala, to examine ways and means of strengthening cooperation and exchange of expertise in the field. Mariam Barshi.
The two parties examined the privileged relations existing between the two countries in various fields, as well as prospects of strengthening bilateral cooperation, notably in the field of agriculture and industry, through the exchange of experiences and expertise. The two ministers also discussed the strategies of development adopted by Algeria and Mauritania to reinforce their food security and to create wealth, highlighting the existing potential in the two countries and the opportunities of cooperation and partnership likely to meet the objectives set. Let's recall that the Mauritanian minister is paying a working visit to Algeria as part of Mauritania's participation to the 22nd edition of the International Agriculture, Farming and Agribusiness Fair, agribusiness named Sibsa Fileha. The participant to the Sibsa Fileha highlighted the role of Algeria in the development of the economy and food security in Africa and its efforts in favor of strengthening the South-South cooperation. The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mr. Youssef Sharfa, stressed in a speech read on his behalf by the Secretary General of the Ministry Algeria's contribution and its continuous efforts to promote economy in the African continent, notably in terms of food security through the strengthening of Saharan cultures and the development of investments within the framework of the South-South cooperation. He highlighted that Algeria is always pursuing its efforts in promoting African economy and food security through the construction of several structures to strengthen exchanges, adding that the trans-Saharan routes linking 6 African countries and the opening of an Algerian-Mauritanian border crossing and another one at the border with Libya.
The Minister of Energy and Mines, Mr. Mohamed Al-Qab, who is now on a 2-day working visit to the Republic of Congo, has discussed in Brazzaville with his Congolese counterpart, Bruno Jean-Richard Itou, the bilateral relations between the two countries in all fields and the means to develop them, notably in the field of hydrocarbons. Mr. Al-Qab expressed Algeria's readiness to present its expertise to Congo in the field of research and exploration of upstream and downstream hydrocarbons and the development of gas and liquefied gas fields and exploration, transport and distribution of petroleum products. Now, the Minister of Hydraulics, Mr. Darbel, has highlighted during the 10th World Water Forum held in Bali, Indonesia, Algeria's commitment to enhance water resources and preserve the environment and ecosystems. Majid Mila.
Addressing the meeting, Darbel insisted that the water issue has a major influence on the living conditions of populations, social and economic development, as well as on the protection ecosystems in achieving sustainable development goals and protecting the interests of future generations. He added in this context that Algeria has new challenges to face up and adopt several measures to deal with water stress and climate change. He indicated that the Algerian government, under the leadership of the President of the Republic, Abdelmadjid Tebboune, has adopted a multi-dimensional strategy through the National Water Plan for 2030, aimed at developing basic structures which meet the country's water needs in the medium and long term. The minister had this to say.
There is another very important element that the public authorities have committed to, the use of water-saving irrigation systems, and everyone knows that more than 70% or more of the water resource collected each year is destined to agriculture. This outlines the importance of using economic water irrigation systems which allow us to irrigate more lands with less water. The agricultural sector is considered strategic, on which the authorities rely on greatly to diversify incomes outside hydrocarbons.
On the sidelines of the 10th World Water Forum, Tahar Derbel has held bilateral talks with his counterparts from Tunisia, Senegal and Pakistan. He discussed with the Tunisian Minister of Agriculture, Water Resources and Fisheries, Abdelmoumen Belati, ways to strengthen cooperation in the water field. The meeting was an opportunity for both parties to discuss the tripartite agreement signed between the three neighboring countries, Algeria, Tunisia and Libya, relating to the creation of a consultation mechanism on the management of common groundwater in the Northern Sahara. The talks between Mr. Debel and the Senegalese Minister of Hydraulics focused on ways to exchange experiences and expertise in the management of water resources. The discussions with his Pakistani counterpart focused on the management of water resources and the means of exchanging experiences to cope with the consequences induced by global climatic warming.
This is Radio Algeria International, the English service. The collective of the Sahrawi human rights defenders, Codesa, has denounced the continued pressure and repression exerted by the Moroccan occupation forces on human rights defenders in occupied Western Sahara. Codesa reported that the Moroccan occupation forces have besieged for 10 days the house of the Sahrawi human rights defender and former prisoner of conscience, Ali Salem Tamek, in the occupied city of Laayoune. In Spain, the right-wing People's Party is presenting today a motion once again calling the lower house of parliament to vote on the government's position on Western Sahara and to reconsider its support for the plan suggested by Morocco for the former Spanish colony. The People's Party hoped the Congress to encourage the reinstatement of Spain's historic position of neutrality with regard to the conflict in Western Sahara, reversing the unilateral position adopted by the head of the government in March 2022. As you followed in our top stories, Algeria has called for an international investigation to shed light on the crimes carried out by the Israeli army in the Gaza Strip. Addressing a UN Security Council meeting devoted to the Palestinian issue, Algeria's deputy representative to the UN, Nassim Gawawi, recorded the violence and atrocities the Palestinian population is confronted to on a daily basis. He blamed the Israeli occupying authorities of implementing a strategy in the Palestinian territories, including ethnic cleansing.
By planning and launching the military operation in Rafah, the Israeli occupying power is executing a strategy of ethnic cleansing, killing Gaza's children, and extinguishing the hope for a better life. The Israeli military operation have already started. This operation have already uprooted more than 800,000 people, nearly all of whom have been displaced multiple times in just over a week. This is the darkest moment in the 7th month nightmare.
Algeria's representatives stressed the imperative to take action to stop the ongoing war in Gaza and more precisely in Rafah, where the humanitarian situation is disastrous. He called on the international community to rapidly take action to put a halt to the sufferings of the Palestinian population and to the inhuman condition they are subjected for months.
Given the prevailing climate of impunity, it is a high time for the international community, for this very Security Council, that to halt the hostility and establish an international inquiry mission to establish facts and ensure accountability. The children of Gaza, the women of Gaza, the people of Gaza deserve justice and the support of the international community. Inaction means abandoning them. Abandoning them means abdicating our humanity.
Algeria's representative to the UN recalled that all crossing points leading to the Gaza Strip remain under the Israeli army's control, depriving the Palestinians from food and water. Here in Algiers, the former French Prime Minister Dominique de Villepin has said that it is fortunate to have Algeria as a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council. Addressing a conference at the Faculty of Communication Sciences of the University of Algiers on the new global realities, the politician spoke of the multitude of conflicts in the world, citing the genocide that the Israeli occupation continues to perpetrate in Gaza and Rafah. Speaking to the participants, Dominique de Villepin had this to say.
À Gaza, si l'on se place maintenant du côté des Palestiniens.
In Gaza, if we now place ourselves on the side of the Palestinians, there is the demand of a people without peace and of a people who have seen their land taken away and a historic situation of bombing without equal. Concentration since now almost 8 months of bombing, which threatens and destroys all infrastructure, be they material but or also immaterial, all the historical heritage, all the identity heritage of the Palestinians in Gaza. So you see to what extent we are here in a logic of destruction. But this territorial conflict, these conflicts which are both territorial and far away, are also, and this explains their extremely deep roots, are also memorial.
Leurs enracinements extrêmement profonds sont aussi mémoriels.
That was the former French Prime Minister Dominique de Villepin. The Israeli army has pursued its attacks on Gaza, killing and wounding scores of Palestinians. According to Palestinian sources, 85 people were killed and 200 others wounded in bombardments carried out against several parts of the enclave. The airstrikes targeted the southern area of Khan Yunis, as well as Beit Lahia, Burij, and Jabalia in the northern part of the enclave. This came as at least 7 Palestinians, including 1 doctor and 1 teacher, were killed and several others wounded in an assault launched by the Israeli forces against the West Bank town of Jenin. In this respect, the Palestinian presidency's spokesman, Nabil Abu Rudaina, today warned the pursuit of the genocidal war perpetrated against the Palestinians in Rafah, Gaza, Nablus, and more recently in Jenin. In other news, Iranians have gathered in Tabriz, the capital of the East Azerbaijan province, to mourn at a farewell procession for President Ibrahim Raisi, who died in a helicopter crash on Sunday. Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdullahian and 6 other people in the helicopter, including crew members, were also killed in the crash. This is Radio Algeria International. Stay tuned.